Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Raihana Namira and my friends. We will present about the types of tourism. So this is my friend. The first one is Nur Fatima. Hello Nur Fatima. And then Zahra Ashifa Aryani and Zakia Aprila. And then there is Ananda Hasna Nur Aziza. And the last one is Jihan Suci Ramadhani. So before we jump into the destination, here are the types of tourism we will presentation about. The first one is adventure tourism. It's a type of niche tourism involving exploration or travel with a certain degree of risk, and which may require special skills and physical exertion. And then the second is cultural tourism. It's a type of tourism activity in which the visitor's essential motivation is to learn, discover, experience, and consume the tangible and intangible cultural attraction or product in a tourism destination. And then third is ecotourism. It's a form of tourism involving responsible travel to natural areas, conserving the environment and improving the well-being of the local people. And then educational tourism is a carefully planned combination of tours, site visits, and hands-on learning opportunities built around clear learning objective. An educational tour is more than a vacation. It's a tool for learning and success with fun and excitement built in. And then the last one is gap year tourism. A gap year is an extended break that people take at life transition, such as between study and work, or between careers. So gap year tourism is a trip that people take when they are on a gap year. Okay. This is the first one destination, and will be presentation by Jihan. So Jihan, please.
Thank you, Namira. I will presentation about the type of tourism in Yogyakarta. The first is adventure tourism, is Java Tour Merapi. When Mount Merapi erupted, causing many victims, including the caretaker of Mount Merapi, Mbah Marijan. Now, after the eruption of Mount Merapi, these places are used as Now, after the eruption of Mount Merapi, these places are used as tourism attraction that are visited by many local and foreign tourists. To get to that place, you can use the service of a jeep or trail from Merapi trip. The second is cultural tourism, is Keraton Yogyakarta. Keraton Ngayogyakarta Hadiningrat is the official place of the Ngayogyakarta Hadiningrat Sultanate, which is now located in the city of Yogyakarta. The place was founded by Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono as the newly established Yogyakarta place due to the spill of Islamic Mataram with the Chianti Agreement. This place is a fraction of Surakarta Hadiningrat, place of Surakarta Sunan, Kingdom of Surakarta. So that the Mataram dynasty was continued by two kingdoms, namely the Yogyakarta Sultanate and the Surakarta Sunanate. The third is ecotourism, Wanagama. One of the destinations in Gunung Kidul is Wanagama Forest Tourism. This Wanagama Forest tour is perfect of visit who want to feel their vacation activities in Yogyakarta. In this Wanagama Forest tour, visitor will be treated to beautiful views. This forest used to be burned due to illegal loot carried out by irresponsible people. Next is educational tourism is Taman Pintar, Yogyakarta. Face the reality of such a world development and form of concern of education, the Yogyakarta city government in idea for the development of a smart park. It is called Taman Pintar. Because in this area students from preschool to high school can freely deep their understanding of the subject matter that has been received at school and at the same time have recreational. And the last one is gap year tourism is Kebun Teh Ngelinggo. Ngelinggo Tea Garden Nature Tourism is the only garden in Yogyakarta. The Ngelinggo Tea Garden, which is located in the west of Jogja, has actually been around for a long time. Actually, the Ngelinggo Tea Garden is the livelihood of the people around Pagar Harjo. Then the local people had the idea to make tea garden into a tourist spot, and nowadays many tourists go to the tea garden to enjoy the fresh with the expand of the tea garden. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jihan, for the presentation. And then next will be presentation by Zara. For Zara, please.
Okay, thank you, Namira. So here I will presentation about the type of tourism in Palangkaraya of Borneo. Next. First one is adventure tourism in Bukit Tangkiling. Tangkiling Hill is a Palangkaraya tourist spot in the form of a thick rock hill with legendary villages. In addition, the location of Tangkiling Hills is in the Tangkiling Nature Tourism Park, standing tall among 9 other hills. The area is dominated by forests. There are almost no mountains, they are only hills. So Tangkiling Hill is very suitable for trekking activities. Climbing on this Tangkiling Hill takes about 30 minutes to reach the top. The sign that the peak of Tangkiling Hill is near is when visitors pass a large rock. The name of the rock is a bedrock. In Bahasa is Batu Kelelawar. Trekking condition there can be quite challenging because they have to climb over the ground and rocks. So therefore, this place is suitable for tourists who want to do adventure tourism. Next, please. Okay, the second one is cultural tourism in Isen Mulang Cultural Festival. Isen Mulang Cultural Festival is an annual festival held in the city of Palangkaraya to celebrate the Central Kalimantan anniversary, which falls in May. Isen Mulang is on the annual agenda of the Palangkaraya Tourism Office. The purpose is event is to showcase and increasingly popularize cultural diversity in Central Kalimantan, which is packaged in the form of carnival. As always, the festival will feature a wide range of art and cultural carnival, games, and competition. In the carnival, the street of Palangkaraya will be filled with traditional dance of the ethnic Dayak Nes, wearing their colorful traditional costume and accessories, as well as many other attractions. Next. Okay, ecotourism. Taman Nasional Sebangau. The Sebangau ecosystem is a large area of tropical peat swamp forest situated in Borneo. It is rich in biodiversity and is one of the world's largest contiguous habitat for flora and fauna population. Sabangau National Park Forest is also a high conservation value area due to its role as a major global carbon store and the many natural resource function it provides for humans. Ecotourism in Sabangau National Park is designed to be an educational tour aimed at increasing awareness of the importance of peatswamp forest and conservation of biodiversity. Ecotourism is not only at local communities and schools, but also for foreign tourists. Next. Here's educational tourism in Arboretum Nyaru Menteng. The Nyaru Menteng Arboretum, which was originally meant only for rich vegetation, today the reserve also includes a forest conservation area where captured primates are released to find their way back into the wild. This place is basically a tropical forest with its natural ecosystem. So you can find endemic flora and fauna in its natural habitat. Next. The last one is gap year tourism in Rungan Forest. A gap year is an extended break that some people take as a life transition, such as between studies, between work and study, or between careers. Rungan probably the large relatively intact lowland forest in Borneo doesn't contain the substantial below-ground carbon stock of the peatwamp forest or the huge trees of the heart of Borneo, and has been a conservation afterthought. The Rungan has potentially one of the large unprotected population of orangutan and gibbons. So we choose Rungan Forest as a place for tourism to volunteer there a year gap year. They can learn and experience new things, so also protect habitat and wildlife, and empower communities to develop sustainable, environmentally friendly livelihoods. Okay, it's enough for me.
Okay, thank you, Zara, for the presentation. And the next destination will be presented by Zakia. For Zakia, please.
Thank you, Namira. I will presentation about the type of tourism in Bali. The first one is adventure tourism. There is Tanjung Benoa in Bali. The center of marine tourism activities on the island of Bali on the Tanjung Benoa beach. Therefore, it is known as Tanjung Benoa Water Sport. There are many choices of marine tourism activities available on Tanjung Benoa Beach, Bali, such as parasailing, jet skiing, banana boat rides, flying fish, snorkeling, flying board, and many other activity options. Next. The second is cultural tourism. There is Tanah Lot Temple in Bali. Tanah Lot Temple, an ancient temple in the southern Bali, attract million domestic and international tourists every year. The tourism in this site is managed by a special agency formed by regional government of Tabanan in partnership with traditional village of Beraban, where the temple located. Tanah Lot Temple is located in Beraban Village, sub-district of Kediri, Tabanan Regency, about 13 kilometers on the southern of Tabanan City, or about 45 drive from Kuta or Seminyak areas. Next. The third one, ecotourism, from community to community Sudaji. Living with and among the local community is the concept of traveling that the villagers of Sudaji are proud to promote. In Sudaji, tourism is not a money-generating machine that neglect the importance of community environment. Developed under the name of community, tourism in Sudaji intend to empower and lift its community from poverty while protecting the environment at the same time. Here, most construction are built using only organic materials such as bamboo, wood, and leaves. As these materials are easily decomposed, they don't generate waste to fill up the earth. You can join in the many activities over here, from trekking, yoga, to offering making, and more. All of them are designed to raise environmental awareness and introduce local wisdom and insight, not only to travelers, but also to the local community. Next. Educational tourism, the exotic glamping experience Baliwoso EduCamp. Hidden in Penggotan village, Baliwoso is where travelers can glam, otherwise known as glamorous camping, while experiencing the authentic Bali culture. From adrenaline-pumping adventures such as river tubing and forest trekking, to genuine cultural experiences such as learning Balinese dance and playing the traditional musical instrument gamelan. There's something for everyone. And don't miss the annual Lobong Picnic, one of the largest events at Baliwoso. You will get to enjoy endless entertainment organized by the local villager, such as games, competition, traditional dance, and even unique food stalls. Lounge around on comfy beanbags with food, drinks, and live music, and simply mingle and chat with the friends local. Next. Gap year in Pantai Jimbaran, Bali. An archipelago of more than 17,000 islands. Among them are Bali. Indonesia is certainly one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Snorkel in the tropical waters, go for shooting yoga session, stroll on white sandy beaches, backpack across Bali. If you are looking for a budget-friendly nation where you can spend a few weeks of your gap year, then you must consider visiting Bali. There are many beaches that we can visit to fill the day. Take a walk to Jimbaran Beach to enjoy the sunset, eating by the beach while looking out to sea to calm the mind after 12 years of school and about to enter college. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zakia, for the presentation. And then the next destination will be present by Nur Fatima.
Okay, thank you, Namira. Hello, everyone. My name is Nur Fatima. I will presentation about the type of tourism in Malang. Next slide. The first one is Kasembon Rafting from Adventure Tourism in Malang. Kasembon Rafting is one of the tourist destinations located in the village of Bayan, Kasembon District, Malang Regency. It is called Adventure Tourism because to be able to enjoy Kasembon Rafting requires physical and mental abilities due to natural challenges. In this place, many tourists visit who want to feel the exciting and fun rafting sensation. In addition, the cool atmosphere can refresh our mind from the boredom and stress that hit every day. Next slide. The next is Museum Angkut from Cultural Tourism in Malang. Museum Angkut is a concept of entertainment and historical object transportation around the world. This museum holds the title as the only tourist spot that tries the concept of transportation tourism in Indonesia. Visitors can learn the history of transportation in the world as well as taxation and know the various types of transportation models in Indonesia and around the world. Next slide. And then Bunpring from Ecotourism in Malang. Bunpring is ecotourism located in Kampung Anyar Street, Sanakota Village, Duren District, Malang Regency, East Java. This bamboo village is located in the southern region, is about 40 kilometers from the center of Malang City, with a travel time in 1 hour. It is said Bunpring because the existence of this tourist attraction is indeed the middle of a bamboo plant, which is said to have been built around 1917 ago. And the next slide. The next is Eco-Green Park from Educational Tourism. Eco-Green Park is one of the exciting places in Jatim Park 2. It is tourist destination with the concept of educational tourism. Eco-Green Park is one of the concepts of how to love nature so that there is not too much garbage in this earth. This concept makes things that are This concept makes things that are not used become useful. Around Eco-Green Park, there is several statues made of objects that are no longer used. Eco-Green Park prioritizes education about protecting nature, as well as knowledge that is closely related of nature. Next slide. And the last one is gap year tourism. To be able to fill this gap year time, one of the activities that you can be joining is participating in a voluntary program by becoming a volunteer team for the World Indonesia Scholarship Festival 2020 Roadshow in Malang. This activity provides a lot of benefits, such as getting a commit certificate, networking to scholarship giving institution in Indonesia, experience being the team that organizes the biggest Indonesia Scholarship Festival and Forum in Indonesia, and many other benefits. Okay, thank you. And the next.
Okay, thank you, Nur Fatima, for explaining the destination in Malang. Okay, for the next destination, we'll present by Ananda.
Thank you, Namira. So I will present the type of tourism in Bogor. Next. The first one is adventure tourism. This is Bukit Gantole Paragliding in Bogor. Bukit Gantole Paragliding is a free flying sport using cloud wings or parachute that takes off on foot for recreational or competitive purpose. Bukit Gantole Paragliding is located in the Gunung Mas area, where this paragliding activity will be accompanied by experienced instructor. Visitors can feel the sensation of floating in the air with an altitude of 1,300 meters above sea level for about 10 minutes while looking at the view of the Verdant Peak of Bogor. After that, you will land on the landing spot in the middle of the white and green grass between the tea gardens. Next. Cultural tourism. There is National Museum of Indonesian History. As the name implies, this museum contains various objects and visualization of the formation of the universe. This museum was originally established as the Ethnobotany Museum and is the only natural history museum in Indonesia. Inside, there is a spice history room. There, you will be invited to see the collection while learning about the history of the discovery of spices by foreign nations, which resulted in the Indonesian nation being colonized for a very long time. Furthermore, on the ground, there are several rooms which contain photos and the history of Bogor, various historical materials of spices, medicines, agar-wood room, food room, and the last, there is a hallway that has panels that show a collection of ancient flora. There is a hallway that has panels that show a collection of ancient flora, children's traditional toys made from plants, herbs, agricultural equipment, etc. Next. The third is ecotourism. There is Bodogol Forest in Bogor. Bodogol Forest is an area that is part of the Gunung Gede Pangrango National Park. Here, visitors not only enjoy the beauty of nature with a cool climate, but also have to preserve the forest. Visitors learn about various kinds of flora and fauna, and given the knowledge that can be used as medicine plants. In this forest, there is also an Owa Jawa breeding place, a monkey-like animal that doesn't have a tail. This animal is classified as old and protected. Not only that, if you're lucky, you can also run into a Javan eagle or even a leopard. Next. Educational tourism. There is Bogor Mini Zoo. Bogor Mini Zoo is an animal education park with more than 15 types of collection of the tame animals. The species range from four-legged herbivore to poultry and freshwater animals. This collection can be said to be quite complete and varied. Visitors can interact more closely with various animals that can be used as pets. Visitors can freely feed the carrots or grass provided. Some animals are quite rarely found in the everyday environment. Some of them are peacock, Caucasian buffalo, Guinea fowl, and Bali duck. The guide, as well as the animal caretaker, will provide more detailed information for visitors who want to know more about these animals. Next. And the last one is gap year tourism. There is Desa Wisata Malasari. To fill the gap year, you can take a vacation in the tourist village of Malasari. There is a Nirmala Agung tea plantation, and the rest are mostly rice fields and community garden. The three main characters supporting tourism in the Malasari tourism are tropical forests with various kind of flora and fauna charms in them, agro areas with natural landscape charms, and the socio-cultural behavior of the people upholding local wisdom and ancestral culture. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ananda. So guys, that is the last explanation about the destination we will presentation. And that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.